You know, black people have a problem. 5 actually that I'm finna talk about. And before I talk about these problems, I need to make a disclaimer. Look, in no way am I trying to bring down the black community by making this video. All I'm trying to do with this video is just bring awareness to our problems and give our community as a whole some constructive criticism. Now, with that out the way, let's get to problem number 1. Black people love to glorify degenerate culture. Alright, Pete. I don't know why, but the black community as a whole just loves glorifying degenerate shit. Whether it's trapping, being a hoe, hell, even killing. Like in most hood areas, if you're the most well-known trapper, you're the king of that area and kids look up to you. For some reason, that same thing is starting to happen for being a hoe. Like no other race glorifies shit like that, bro. Except us. Black people are the only type of people that will look at a regular 9-to-5 average guy and will call that nigga lame, all because he doesn't trap and have a Hellcat. That shit makes absolutely 0 sense.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the promotion of degeneracy in the black community. This is a topic that I've been thinking about doing for quite a while. I'll probably say from about March. Yeah, I'd say March, April. And it's only gotten worse as the summertime has gone along. And yeah, just looking at it now, I'm just like, nah, like this is the time to make a video about it. And yeah, man, like as you can see, literally, as what you call Cloud9, the guy in the video, as Cloud9 was saying. And also another thing that I like to point out, like he had to even put a disclaimer, because simply pointing out, you know, this degeneracy, people will be coming and saying, oh no, you're trying to put black people down. No, I'm not trying to put black people down. He's not trying to put black people down. He's just trying to give constructive criticism, and he's just sharing his thoughts and opinions. And another thing that people are also going to be saying, oh no, maybe it's those type of black people or those type of black people. Black is black. The world sees us as black. Doesn't matter if you're from Jamaica, whether you come from Nigeria, whether you come from South Africa, whether you come from America, black is black. So when you find this is being promoted, all people say, oh, black community. That's how they behave. That's the stereotype that's going to be portrayed. So with that, let's get into the video and let me share my thoughts, my opinions. Let's get to it.
Whatever reason, being a hoe is just popular as hell right now. Like it feels like a good portion of black women only want to be outside. Everyone wants to have a roster. Everybody wants to be outside shaking ass and shit. And these hoes want to be hoes for these trappers instead of being a hoe for Jesus. Y'all get the point though. Black people just glorify this shit way more than any other race. And I feel like a big reason for that is our role models, bruh. Because when you really just think about it, who are the main role models for our kids in the black community? SexxyRed and Lil Baby. I'm like, what do you say fuck me for? Our community doesn't have good role models. That's why we suffer from this massive degenerate culture. Because when Dr. Umar is the only guy who's speaking some, and I truly mean some, good principles, and my brother in Christ, we are fucking cooked.
Yeah, he's cooking. Absolute facts. I already made a video touching on this with the SexxyRed situation, where we saw with what you call those little preschool babies, those preschool girls busy singing SexxyRed's shake your ass, hands on your knees, that song over there. For me, I was just like, you as a parent, how in the blue hell are you going to allow your child to be listening to such stuff? And you could see they were even recording it. They thought it was funny. And they even took a video of it and put it on TikTok. In fact, what you call, when I get into editing, I'm actually going to revert back to that video that I posted in my previous one. Absolutely crazy, man. And the reality is, people emulate what they see. If you as a child, that's you at your most vulnerable. You are trying to identify, see who you are in this world. You're trying to put yourself and say, okay, I fit here into this world. If all you're seeing is the SexxyReds of the world, the Ice Spices, you go on Instagram, you're seeing all these BBL models, Instagram models. You're finding all these, what you call bikini pictures, basically telling you that, look, you're only pretty if you get naked. What do you think a young, impressionable child is going to be thinking whilst they grow up? It's absolutely insane. Absolutely mad.
Speaking of cooked though, a lot of black people's mindsets about money and status are very, very cooked. Which leads us to our next problem. We care about money and status way too much. Like bro, a lot of black people will literally do anything for money, bro. Except work a regular job. Like I'm telling you, black people are truly some of the hardest workers and smartest people when we really, truly put our mind to it. But the only fucking problem is that we always put all of our effort into the wrong shit. Like instead of trying to be doctors, lawyers, astronauts, and hell, even politicians, all niggas want to do is become trappers, scammers, and rappers. Every single black person watching this video, listen to what I'm saying right now. There is nothing wrong with working a regular 9-to-5 job. And a good amount of black people are starting to realize that. But for the people who still are trapped into the mindset of trapping and scamming being the only way, stop that shit. Because the only place that will lead you to is a jail cell or a fucking coffin. And if you watched any drug crime show like Snowfall or Power, you will quickly realize that. But a big reason on why we go so hard to get money most of the time isn't even for a beneficial purpose. Because the only thing that niggas want to do when they get their money is spend it on meaningless shit. All so that we can flex on other people. We buy shoes, clothes, chains, hell, even cars. Why do you think every single black person who has money also owns a Hellcat? All that black people care about is their status in society. That's why you will have niggas perfectly fine with being trappers just because it's looked at as cool in the black community. We as a whole community need to have better aspirations, bro. Because there is no reason why you should be spending $300 on shoes that only cost $20 to make. If that, because you know that shit was made in them China sweatshops. Like niggas are dead ass selling their souls just so they can get the money to flex, bro. Instead of trying to help and benefit your community. But
Literally, I never understood this mindset of, okay, when you think of black, especially in black America, you find most black kids, they're either trying to be a basketball player, they're trying to go into track and field, or they're trying to be a rapper. Pretty much, that's what you're trying to do. But if I was a parent, I would be saying to myself, I'm like, look, let's be realistic. Obviously, if your child wants to chase their dreams of doing whatever they're trying to do, help them achieve that. However, for the vast majority of people, getting a 9-to-5, getting a career that's sustainable is the more realistic option. Your child has a far higher chance of being anything in the medical field, a dentist, a doctor, a nurse, accountant, an engineer, has a much higher chance than ever being an NBA player. In the NBA right now, there are 450 NBA players in the world. 450. We are over 8 billion people on Earth. Only 450 make the NBA. Just look at those odds. Would you rather push your child into the direction of, I'm going to push my child into one of the fields I just mentioned, or into being an NBA player? You see, that's the problem. But then, as Cloud9 was saying over there, this whole mindset about surrounding money, Jay-Z is somebody who I look up to in the sense when it comes to money, and then I like how he promotes it in his music about the use of money. When you find most people, when they get money, what's the first thing they try to do? They try flex. That's why they say what you call money talks, wealth whispers. Jay-Z realized that. He even admitted in his earlier music, he used to go and spend like $50,000 on chains, $100,000 on shoes, just to flex and just to look as if he's rich. But the people that are truly rich, they don't want you to know that they're truly rich. Look at the richest people on earth. Look at the Mark Zuckerbergs, look at the Jeff Bezos and all that stuff. If I recall, Mark Zuckerberg, he drives a Honda Fit. He drives a customized Honda Fit. This man is a multi-billionaire, one of the top 5 richest people on earth. He drives a Honda Fit for a reason, because he understands that, hey, look, wealth whispers. You don't want to let too many people know that you have money. And he understands that, look, buying a $50,000 chain, that's not value for money. So this whole mindset of people saying that, look, just because I have $50,000, meaning I have to spend it, instead of putting it into a gold chain, put it into something that actually matters, put it into stocks, put it into real estate. Think of it like this. If you had put $50,000 into Apple stock back in 2007 when the first iPhone released, if you were to look at how much that money has appreciated since then, you would be a multi-millionaire. from $50,000 that you invested in 2007. But instead, most people are just going to go out and buy the latest iPhone, even though their phone that they have right now perfectly works. Make that make sense.
Goes, bro. There's nothing wrong with working regular 9-to-5 office jobs or even being blue collar workers. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, bro. As long as you're providing for your family, all is well. It's just a lot of people don't care about their families, which unfortunately is problem number 5, which I also think is the biggest problem. We as a community don't care about our kids, and we're also not there for them. What's the most common stereotype made against black men, specifically black fathers? Black fathers abandoning their kids. For whatever reason, a lot of black men just aren't there for their kids. And honestly, I feel like that's one of, if not the biggest problem in the black community. Family is the most important thing in most of our lives. Because no matter what, family is always gonna be there for you. And if it's not there for you, that's when you start getting fucked up in the head. Which is why I feel like this generation of black people was cheated out of a lot of things. And you can really see that effect on how our generation is turning out to be. But I'm gonna just put it like this. As a whole community, black people have just kind of abandoned the concept of family. We should not be letting these black women raise these kids all by themselves. And as black men, we have to step up and be there for your kids no matter what. And as a community, we have to bring the idea and the concept of the family back. Because truthfully and honestly, if we had a better concept of family, I feel like our whole community would be in a better place right now.
And I absolutely love this point, because it all goes back to family. I've been saying this on so many of my videos throughout the years. It all goes back to family. If there are problems at home, if the foundation at home is not solid, you will see that in their behavior in public. When I look at most people and I look at their behavior and I sometimes question that, this behavior can be a bit suspect, I usually think back and I'm like, let me try get some insight into how they are behaving at home or how things are at home, and then it begins to make sense. This whole notion of what you call single parent households. In America, for example, I know in America, nearly 75% of babies born are born out of wedlock, and they're born to single moms. 75%, which means you are more likely to find a black person without a 2-parent household than to find a black child in a 2-parent household with both parents being married. Literally, that's where you find a situation where kids at school are making fun of other kids for having the same siblings from the same mom and dad. What kind of messed up ish is that? And that's where it really comes down to. I mean, it's a situation where, as you said, the single parent stuff, it comes down to who you choose to lay in bed with. If the person you wanted to sleep with, if you look at them and you know for a fact you do not want this person to be your baby mama or your baby daddy, why are you sleeping with them? Because every time you have sex, there's always a possibility that that person could be your baby mama or your baby daddy. Why are you sleeping with them? And to the fellas, I look at you and I say, even more so, you need to be more careful. Why? If you sleep with a girl who you don't want to be the mother of your children, if she doesn't want to have an abortion, there's nothing you can do to stop her. Absolutely nothing. If she wants to be a mother, she will be a mother and she will make you a father, and there's nothing you can do. Your choice. You make that decision before you lay down with her. At least in her case, with the, invention of birth, what you call the pill, and all these 20-something birth control options that women have. They can decide after the fact if they don't want to have the child. You as a guy, the minute you bust, it's late. The minute you bust, it's late. So always ask yourself this question before you sleep with them. Are you okay with them being your baby mama or your baby daddy? And at the very least, I say to people, even if you can't stand your baby mama or your baby daddy, at the very least, try co-parent for the sake of the child. I'm of the mindset that the minute you now have a child, I'm not really concerned about your happiness. That's done. I look at the child. The child didn't ask to be born into your bullshit. You make sure you take care of that child. If you're not taking care of your child, you're a piece of shit. That I will always stand by. So at the very least, try be there for your child. You don't have to be there for your partner or the girl, the baby daddy, baby mama. Fine, cool. But be there for your child. At the very least. They didn't ask for this. But that's going to be the end of this video. I fully agree with what Cloud9 was saying in this video. It really comes down to family. I don't agree with this degeneracy. I don't understand why we glorify this stuff. I hate the stereotype. If you actually ask most people, when you think of black culture, what do you think of? Let that sink in. Let me ask you that. When you think of black culture, what do you think of? I used to think of black culture in terms of thinking about gospel music, the church, strong family values. You know, when people are saying that, oh, I'm going over to grandma's house because grandma's going to be cooking good food, stuff like that. That's what I used to think when it comes to black culture. But I now know for the vast majority of people, when you think of black culture, what do you think? Put your hands on your knees, shake that ass, bitch. Come on, guys. All right, guys. I'll catch you on to the next video. Peace.